initial agreement that's proposed would have the city give $40 million of grants to support the True North sale of, or buying Portage Place Mall. And they'll buy it for $34.5 million. Is that a lot of city revenue to give up in your view? It sounds like quite a commitment there.
It is a commitment. It's a commitment over several years, and the bulk of a good portion of that, of course, is the tax increment financing, which is basically rebated back to the property owner over several years. The other funds that we're looking at as part of the incentive, really where many of it was funding that is already allocated in previous budgets as well. This is a significant investment. This investment represents really unlocking the $650 million worth of investment in Winnipeg's downtown, specifically at Portage Place. Anybody who knows Winnipeg knows that Portage Place right now is a massive footprint in Winnipeg's downtown that is not performing anywhere near what it needs to perform to. We need a significant investment at that site to really unlock other investments in the downtown as well.
Is that affordable for the city when it's got its own deficit and drained its rainy day fund yet again?
As I said, when you look at this, these are funds, most of which have either already been allocated in previous budgets and are really set aside. They were really related to a previous interest in this site, and the other portion is tax increment financing, which is future property tax revenues that would be rebated back. We use the tax increment financing, the TIF program we've used before. We use it as an incentive, in other sites as well. We're really trying to drive investment in the downtown, and I think this is a significant and important investment.
Why does it cost $7.5 million to do a block of Edmonton between Portage Avenue and the Promenade?
Well, our staff has worked on these numbers with True North. It's expensive to invest in and to build new streets and new streetscaping, transit stops, whatever all the different elements in this would be. But the specifics of the details I don't have in front of me right now relate to all of that $7 million.
I'll explain why I'm asking that. Has True North offloaded the cost of the atrium demolition and the reconstruction in there, and that's hidden in the $7.5 million?
Again, the details of that I don't have in front of me right now, but what we do know is that the City of Winnipeg was already set aside millions of dollars in the previous request on this project for streetscaping investment.
Does this set the bar high for future grants, though, for projects? It's almost twice as much, almost exactly as the city was going to give Starlight.
The Starlight investment was not $650 million. This is a $650 million investment with where we're looking at affordable housing, a significant footprint of affordable housing, a partnership with Southern Chiefs Organization, incorporating community space, incorporating the downtown Y as well. And so, this scale of investment, I think, is critical for our downtown. We need to see this property transformed.
True North had asked for a 6-month extension. The fact that we have this purchase agreement, I guess, on the table, is that the signal that they've done their due diligence, they're waiting on the city, the province, the feds, and I guess to buy them all from the owner? Is this kind of the first step of the end? Is that, I don't know if you're the person to ask that, but is that your understanding of this?
Well, we have this request before us, and so we as a shareholder in the Forks North Portage are making our decision. I'm glad to see this is finally before us. We did grant an extension. As to the reasons for the extension, specifically you'd have to ask True North that question.
Do you know if the province and feds have done their approvals?
I don't have the details on the provincial and federal information.
The Forks Board of Directors approved this, which would imply provincial and federal support, but is the province doubling up on the TIF here with their own provincial education property tax incentives?
That'd be a question specific for the province to answer that question. What we have before us is really the city's request, or the city's really offer, I would say, as far as incentives to get this investment moving.
There's a clause about moving street renewal money. Does that mean that you do $1.9 million of street renewal as part of the grants, or what does that mean?
We have street renewals in our budget, and so we would tap into a portion of the street renewal budget to make the investment to accommodate some of what's needed on this site. And so that when I talk about, we already have budgeted amounts for future years. Some of the street renewal budget for future years is not allocated yet. We could allocate some of the work, some of that funding to do this work.
So it would be supportive street projects, though. It's not transferring it out for a different purpose.
Sorry,
It's just worded kind of oddly. So in the actual recommendation, so it's not transferring it for a different purpose. It would be some street renewal work related to this project.
So some future street renewal budgets, they're not allocated. There's an amount in the budget. We know we do street renewal every year, but the projects within that year are not yet determined. We could therefore determine that some of this work gets done with these future budgets.
Never mind, you're going to say talk to the feds if I ask you about a federal commitment, because we haven't really seen anything there specifically. So,
if you want a minute, are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
For grants, I have one more for grants. I'm just, because we have heard from some councillors some years that even just the entertainment tax rebate is too much and we're giving too much to companies. What do you make of that argument if folks see this $40 million figure and think it's too high?
Well, the entertainment tax is predicated on agreements that are in place, and we have, as one partner in the agreement, we've got to honor that agreement. And so what this is about an investment in the downtown. It's a long-awaited investment in Winnipeg's downtown. I'm really pleased to see it's before us. We need to have this investment so that we can have more housing in the downtown, more economic development in the downtown as well. This addresses many of the collaborative goals that we have as a community, where we have private investment coming together with the public sector coming together also with First Nations governments and leadership as well to transform our downtown. And when you take a look at what's been happening in downtown Winnipeg over the last several years, there's been some really, really good news. You take a look at the Manitoba Métis Federation and their investment at Portage Avenue with the Manitoba Métis Heritage Centre that they're taking the transformation really of the Bank of Montreal building and turn it into something that is going to be specific really to promote and showcase Métis heritage. Manitoba Métis Federation also purchased 200 Main Street. We have renovations happening to transform a building on Broadway into a hotel. The Wawanisa building just opened up. We're standing, really close to the market lands, obviously just across the street from that transformation. There's a lot of good investment happening in the downtown. This will be monumental. $650 million investment in the heart of Winnipeg's downtown. It's much needed. I'm glad to support it.
Have you briefed the rest of council about this prior to the publication of this report this morning?
I think a lot of councillors have had the information provided to them, at least at a high level. I'm looking forward to the discussion at council as well. And so I think I'm hoping a lot of council, I'm hoping all council supports this.
What's up to 40% affordable housing mean? Could that be 25 or 30? Like, what's the basement there? Because up to isn't 40% minimum. Like, what does that mean?
You can see that in Winnipeg right now through our Housing Accelerator Fund, for example, we are promoting and prioritizing affordable housing. And so we will be pushing for as much of that I will be pushing to get as much close to that 40%, if not right to 40% as possible. We need affordable housing in Winnipeg's downtown. That's a priority for us. We've used the first tranche of the Federal Housing Accelerator Fund to prioritize affordable housing.